Racist nurse pours hot coffee on a black woman. She later realizes the woman is the new chief medical director. It was a Monday morning. Bright sun. New beginnings. A calm spring breeze rustled the blooming cherry blossoms outside Mercy Hill Regional Hospital. But inside something ugly was brewing. And it wasn't just the coffee. Hospital cafeteria. Busy morning rush. Nurses, doctors, staff chatter over breakfast. Dr. Iona Monroe had just arrived from Washington, D.C. A black woman with 2 doctorates, a spotless record and an undeniable presence. She didn't wear her white coat that day, not yet. She was taking it all in. Watching. Observing. Today was her unofficial first day and she wanted to see how the hospital really ran without the filter of title or power. Iona, stylish yet understated business attire, standing in line, holding her tray. Narrator. No one knew who she was. Not yet. And for some, that meant license. Nurse Linda Brash, 50s, white, brisk, loud, sipping coffee while barking orders to kitchen staff. Nurse Linda Brash had worked here for over 20 years. She was a staple, a gatekeeper. And she didn't like change, especially not when that change came wrapped in black skin and confidence. Iona reaching the counter, polite smile. Anna. Hi, could I get a green tea, please? Linda interrupting loud. You people always want something different. Can't you just pick something off the board? The air shifted. Conversations around them paused. Iona looked up, eyes steady. Anna. Excuse me? Linda rolls eyes, sarcastic. You heard me. We're busy and we serve coffee. You want fancy tea? Go back to wherever you came from. Suddenly, Linda lifts her cup of hot coffee and accidentally spills it down Iona's blouse. Linda mocking tone. Oops. Screams. Tray clatters. Gasps. Iona steps back, blouse stained, skin red and burning. Iona calm but furious. You just assaulted me. Linda shrugs. No witnesses. Just a spill. Accidents happen, sweetheart. But Linda was wrong. There were witnesses. And one of them was already dialing HR. Another, he was recording. Nurse intern Maya, young black nurse, watching with wide eyes. Clutching her phone. Maya knew this was wrong. She'd heard stories about Nurse Brash. She'd seen her snap at other nurses, always the ones who didn't look like her. But this was the first time she saw it happen so clearly. So publicly. So violently. Iona tending to her burns. Her hands tremble slightly. A deep breath. Iona didn't scream. She didn't cry. She cleaned herself up. She straightened her blouse. And then, she changed into her white coat. Executive Wing, Mercy Hill Hospital. Late morning. Across the hospital in a glass-walled boardroom, senior staff gathered. They expected a new chief medical director, an outsider. Rumors had swirled for weeks. Director Wells, older white male hospital director, stands to introduce the new director. Director Wells, please join me in welcoming the new chief medical director of Mercy Hill. Dr. Iona Monroe. Gasps. Murmurs. The room stills. Linda, who snuck into the back to spy on the meeting, turns pale. The same woman she had just burned, now stood at the helm of the hospital. Anna. Before we begin, I'd like to address an incident that happened earlier this morning. An incident where I, as a black woman, was targeted and assaulted in your cafeteria. Silence. Shifting chairs. Uneasy glances. Anna. There is no tolerance. Zero for racism, harassment, or intimidation at Mercy Hill. Not anymore. Change isn't coming, it's already here. Linda slipping out of the room, eyes darting. But Iona wasn't done. What Linda didn't know was that she had already been under review. Iona in her hotel room night before, folders spread across the bed, reading old complaints. Mercy Hill had a reputation. Whispers of racism, retaliation, manipulation. Iona had requested the files before she ever accepted the job. And Linda Brash's name came up, again and again. Old complaint number 27, dismissed for lack of evidence. Nurse Jenkins, black, allegedly yelled at and belittled in front of patients by Linda. Complaint number 34, filed by an intern who left early due to toxic culture. Most of the complaints were brushed off, unsubstantiated, or mysteriously withdrawn. But now, with Maya's recording and Iona's position, things were about to change. Ayana meets with black and brown staff privately in a staff conference room. Anna, you're safe here. What you say won't leave this room. But I need the truth. There's shaky voices. Names spoken. Stories finally heard. It wasn't just Linda. It was the system. The complicit administrators. The promotion boards. The HR office that conveniently lost files. But Linda was the first thread. And Ayana was pulling. Linda at home, tense, pacing, pouring a drink. Phone ringing off screen. He ignores it. Linda knew something was happening. Staff stopped greeting her in the hallway. HR requested a formal interview. She was no longer untouchable. Maya watching Linda from a distance, debating whether to release the video publicly. Maya. If she did this to the new director, how many others did she do it to and get away with it? Ayana's office, walls filled with evidence, post-its, timelines. Ayana worked late into the night, building a case. Every complaint, every name, every silence that echoed too loudly. Anna, you picked the wrong woman to spill coffee on. Ayana walking through the hospital, Maya joins her. Maya, Dr. Monroe, I have something to show you. Hands over her phone. The video, unedited, clear audio. Linda's voice, her words, every vile syllable. Ayana watches it. No expression, just quiet strength. Anna, thank you. This changes everything. But just when Ayana thought she had control, a whistleblower email arrived. Anonymous. One sentence. On-screen email. Linda isn't acting alone. Check the pharmacy records. Early morning, Dr. Ayana Monroe's office. Ayana hadn't slept. The anonymous email haunted her. Linda isn't acting alone. Check the pharmacy records. What began as a racist assault was starting to look like something far darker. Ayana combing through hospital internal systems, digital files open, logs scrolling quickly. Dozens of anomalies. Unusual prescriptions. Medications logged but never administered. Entire shipments recorded as used, with no corresponding patient data. And one name popped up repeatedly. Nurse Linda Brash. Approved 68 controlled substance requests in 3 months. Linda. Ayana meets with compliance officer Marcus Reed, a quiet ally. Anna. We may have a drug diversion issue. Marcus. Anna. Yes. And if we don't move carefully, it could collapse this hospital. Linda arriving for her shift. Tension in her stride. She senses it, the walls are closing in. Word spread fast. Dr. Monroe wasn't just an administrator. She was an investigator. And she wasn't backing down. Flashback montage. Staff interviews, old pharmacy audit logs, surveillance footage overlays. Nurses whispered about missing meds. Patients sedated without orders. A young orderly remembered a night where Linda emerged from the pharmacy, sweating, clutching a black bag. Ayana and Maya together in Ayana's office, reviewing footage from 6 months ago. Maya. That's her. After hours. No reason to be in there. Anna. And look who gave her access. A second name flashes. Dr. Thomas Reddick, head of surgery. The corruption wasn't limited to Linda. A respected surgeon was now implicated. Ayana had stumbled into something bigger than racism. This was systemic exploitation. Confrontation in the boardroom. Ayana calls an emergency leadership meeting. Anna. Evidence shows mismanagement of controlled substances, cover-ups and racism fueling it all. This is my official request for a full federal investigation. Director Wells, nervous. Dr. Monroe. Anna. Save it. You had the complaints for years. You did nothing. That ends now. Some administrators walk out. Others lower their heads. Hours later, Linda was escorted off the premises. Her face twisted in disbelief. But it wasn't over. The DA was called in. The Department of Health opened an inquiry. News vans parked outside Mercy Hill. Maya sitting beside Ayana at a press conference. Maya. She didn't just save this hospital. She saved us. Staff huddled in the break room watching the broadcast. Some crying. Some applauding. Ayana's actions created a ripple. Interns spoke up. Past employees submitted affidavits. And slowly the culture shifted. 1 month later, Ayana giving a speech in the same cafeteria she was assaulted in. Anna. 1 month ago I was burned with coffee and dismissed as a nobody. But I was somebody. And so are all of you. If we want better, we must demand better. Applause. Maya nods proudly in the crowd. Justice isn't given. It's claimed. If this story moved you, share it. Speak out against racism and cover-ups in your workplace. And never assume someone's silence means weakness. Drop your comment in the comment section. For more stories on justice, survivor, strength, and change, subscribe to Hope in Shadows. Thank you for watching.